where open-air design and sweeping ocean views create a seamless connection to the sea. Set across 17 acres of pristine beachfront, the resort blends island serenity with the dynamic rhythm of Miami. Experience the calm between the currents of city and sea and reserve at ritzcarlton.com or call 1-800-542-8680. South Florida's top choice for quality signs and graphics is Metro Group Miami. With Metro signs and Metro wraps, no job is too big or too small for the experts at Metro Group Miami. A proud corporate partner and official signage and graphics provider of the Miami Marlins, they bring brands to life. Call them today at 954-983-6662. Visit MetroGroupMiami.com to discover what they can do for you. Metro Group Miami. Signs, graphics, car wraps. They're your everything team. Everyone knows BrandSmart USA as the heavy hitters, like big screen TVs and appliances, but our lineup is way deeper than you think. We've got mattresses, furniture, and grills for the cookout, plus everything from fitness equipment, vacuums, AC units, the latest tech, and more to keep your home running like a pro. We make life easier with fast delivery, professional installation, haul away, in our own in-house repair centers. All at the lowest price with 0% interest financing and buy now, pay later options. BrandSmart USA, favorite brands, lowest prices guaranteed.
Thanks for listening to Miami Marlins Baseball on the home of the Marlins, WQAM.
Marlins Baseball is brought to you by ADT, the official security partner of the Miami Marlins, and by Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia, official law firm of the Miami Marlins.
Time for the 10th inning show on the home of the Marlins, WQAM. Here's the radio voice of the Marlins, Jack McMullen.
Well, the Marlins started 3-0 after a series sweep of the Colorado Rockies this weekend. It was the first 3-0 start since 2009. That's 17 years. But unfortunately, it halts there. Marlins fall in game one of a three-game set to the visiting Chicago White Sox 9-4 on Monday night. Jack McMullen, Jeff Nelson here guiding you through the 10th inning show. Nelly obviously started with Chris Paddock. It was his Marlin big league debut, the organization that drafted him, traded him as a minor leaguer, but he signed back this year on a one-year deal. He looked sharp at the outset, and it was 6 punch-outs and no walks, so that box was checked. The problem is 2 big long balls, right? Grand slam from Miguel Vargas, the 3-run home run, and the third from Austin Hayes. What jumped out about Paddock, and what do you feel like kind of went south for him later on in his start?
Mechanics, you look at the first 2 innings, everything was down in the zone, had a really good changeup, spotted his fastball well. We talked about the spin rate earlier in the game as far as getting that breaking pitch, that slider or sweeper away from righties. He did that, and he looked really good. But then in the 4th inning or 3rd and 4th inning where he gave up the 4 spots, everything started coming up in the zone. He started getting beat with the changeup up. I know he gave up a couple weak hits, but they were still up in the zone, and then mechanically just started drifting towards the plate, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of pitches were elevated. And then when you get behind and all of a sudden you groove a changeup that's about belt high and it's like a BP fastball, that's when Vargas hit the grand slam. So to me, it's just mechanics. And with the pitch clock, we talked about it during the game, it's tough for you to try to fix and try to get off of that mound to take a deep breath because Moscas already went out there during that 1 inning, so he couldn't really go out and have another visit because then he would have been out. And it's really hard now to slow down the game if you're a player.
Yeah, it certainly is. Chris Paddock, again, 7 of his 8 runs on 2 swings, and that's what happens when you start leaving pitches up in the zone, right? Elevate and celebrate. That is the common cliche, I guess, among hitters, and that's where damage can come when a pitch is up in the zone. And again, the Hayes 3-run homer and the Vargas grand slam. Long ball number 2 for Liam Hicks. This guy has homered in 2 of his starts so far this year. He homered on Saturday. He turned on a ball. He homered today. He's pulled both homers. It just looks like he's gotten stronger. He's hitting the ball harder. Are you sensing big season coming for Hicks possibly?
Yeah, well, I liked him as a player last year. I thought he really held his own for not playing in AAA. He was a Rule 5 guy, really tough for Rule 5 guys to come to the big leagues and be as comfortable as I saw him last year. Good, he played very well at first, good behind the plate, looked really comfortable, like he's been around a while at the plate. So I'm not surprised that he's come up and he's had some success at the plate left-handed. He got 2, he hit a cutter. His first home run, and then he had the changeup today. He had 3 RBIs today. He's swinging the bat well. Even his outs are hard.
Yeah.
He did have the little blooper the other way, 70 miles an hour off the bat. You take it, whatever they come hard, they come soft. It doesn't matter. But no, you like the confidence because you don't know, is it going to be a platoon thing that behind the plate? Is he going to be behind the plate against righties? And then you see Ramirez do be a designated hitter. But I like his swing. Like I mentioned, I liked him as a player last year, and now he's starting to come in his own. Even catching, his pop time's getting better.
Yeah.
He's catching a good game behind the plate. You usually don't see offense and good catching at the same time. It's usually a designated hitter. Like Ramirez is probably a better hitter as a designated hitter than a catcher.
Yeah.
But Hicks is putting it together.
He certainly is. Jeff Nelson, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Hopefully a better result.
Cool beans. Fish look to bounce back tomorrow. Highlights when we come back on the 10th Inning Show on the Marlins Radio Network.
Create your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
Miccosukee Casino and Resort is your place in Miami to live it up and play on. Unleash the excitement of slots, high-stakes bingo, and 24/7 poker action. Indulge in exquisite dining at La Brisa and handcrafted cocktails at Tempt Lounge. Unwind in our elegant rooms and suites as you elevate your entertainment around the clock. And check out our new Little Trail Casino on I-75, exit 49. Rediscover Miccosukee Casino and Resort, voted best casino in Miami. Visit Miccosukee.com for more.
At Loan Depot, we're big on home. Home games, home teams, home field advantage, and you better believe it, home runs. For us, home means everything, which is why we're offering more options that make buying your first home easier and more affordable. No matter where you are on your home ownership journey, round the corner to LoanDepot.com and let us help get you home. That's LoanDepot.com. We're on deck ready to hit it out of the home ownership park for you. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLC ID number 174475.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is Griffin Conan, and you're listening to the 10th Inning Show with Jack McMullen on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, Griffin Conine did double and walk today, but the Marlins do fall 9-4 to the Chicago White Sox. Fish suffered their first loss of the season. They are 3-1. The White Sox are 1-3. How did this ball game sound? Well, let's start in the early going here because Chris Paddack looked locked in his first start as a Marlins big leaguer. Again, this is the organization that drafted Chris Paddack, but they traded him as a minor leaguer. Paddack signs back on a one-year deal this year, and he started his start off with a bang. 2-2 to Austin Hayes. That one cut on and missed. It was a sweeper, and understandably so. Chris Paddack is fired up. He gets a punch out on one of those new tools in the toolbox. Paddack with a 1-2-3 top of the first. So Chris Paddack, he set down the first 6 guys that he saw. But in the top of the third, the White Sox opened scoring thanks to Miguel Vargas. First pitch, Vargas with a broken bat, little flare right over Otto, the shortstop. That dribbles into left center field, and it's an RBI single for Miguel Vargas. He needs new lumber, but he does plate the first run of the game. It's an RBI knock, and it's 1-0 White Sox in the top of the third. So Miguel Vargas with the first run, but the first big swing came just a couple hitters later from Austin Hayes. 2 from Paddack to Hayes on the way. And that one tagged out to right and deep down the line into the corner. Casey looks up, and that somehow sneaks out. Maybe 5 feet inside the right field foul pole. Austin Hayes picked the shortest part of the yard and sent out a 3-run home run. It's Hayes' first homer of the year, and it's a 4 spot against Paddack in the road third. It's 4-0 White Sox. So Austin Hayes with that 3-run homer made it 4-0, and Miguel Vargas doubled the advantage an inning later. 3-1. That one ripped high in the air out to left. There's no doubt about it. A grand slam home run for Miguel Vargas. He's got 5 RBIs today. That's his first homer of the year, and he's starting to build on that breakout campaign in 2025. Vargas doubles the White Sox advantage. It's 8-0 in the top of the fourth. So Miguel Vargas, that was, I guess, the final blow on Chris Paddock, although he did get out of the fourth inning again. Final line on the starter. Paddock, 4 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs. All 8 were earned on the 2 homers, the 3-run shot from Hayes and the grand slam from Vargas. Paddock did punch out 6 and did not walk any of the 21 hitters that he faced. Fish got on the board in the bottom of the fourth because of a familiar power threat from this weekend. 1-2. That one ripped out to right and deep again. Liam Hicks leaves the yard. Bat speed, baby. Liam Hicks drives a ball and pulls another. He's got his second homer of the year, and the Fish are on the board. They got work to do, but it's 8-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Fish scratched another run across an inning later after the Griffin Conine double. Jacob Marcy played at him. A 1 pitch. Marcy hammers out to right center field. Pereira on the move, and he's got to play that on a hop. Conine around third. He will come in and score. And Jacob Marcy, that's got to feel good. Second hit of the year. He's 1 for 3, and he's got an RBI knock to make it 8-3. White Sox in the bottom of the fifth. So that was the third run of the Marlin night. Liam Hicks got himself a multi-hit 3 RBI day after Marcy tripled. He drove him in with a hit of his own in the bottom of the eighth. 1-1. That one looped into shallow left. Coming on quickly, Hayes. He will not get there. Marcy scores, and it's an RBI knock for Liam Hicks. Hicks has himself a multi-hit 3 RBI day, and the Marlins scratch their 4th run across. It's 9-4. The White Sox lead in the bottom of the eighth. Jeff Nelson was being Jeff Nelson, hence the little chuckling. But in the bottom of the eighth, there was a serious threat for the Marlins. They had the bases loaded with 2 men gone. Will Venable turned to Jordan Hicks. Connor Norby, with 1 swing of the bat, could have made it a 1-run game, but it was just a soft line out to second to end the threat in the eighth. And then the Fish go down in the ninth. This was how the finish sounded. First pitch. X bounces over to second. Lenine Sosa's got that routine for him. He tosses to first, and that is the ball game. 4-3 put out. Jordan Hicks closes the door on the Marlins. Can't win them all, but the Fish will try to bounce back tomorrow. They fall to the visiting Chicago White Sox 9-4 in the series opener on Monday night. That's how this one sounded. When we come back, you'll hear from the skipper, Clayton McCullough. 10th Inning Show continues next on the Marlins Radio Network.
Legal battles shouldn't be fought alone, especially when your health, finances, or family's future are on the line. I'm Adam Werner. At Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia, we guide our neighbors across the Miami, Florida community through some of life's most difficult legal transitions, from injury cases to disability cases, bankruptcy, and more. Our team is committed to providing clear guidance, strong advocacy, and dependable support every step of the way. Let our family help lead the fight so you can focus on yours. Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia, official law firm of the Miami Marlins.
Everyone knows BrandSmart USA as the heavy hitters, like big screen TVs and appliances, but our lineup is way deeper than you think. We've got mattresses, furniture, and grills for the cookout, plus everything from fitness equipment, vacuums, AC units, the latest tech, and more to keep your home running like a pro. We make life easier with fast delivery, professional installation, haul away, in our own in-house repair centers. All at the lowest price with 0% interest financing and buy now, pay later options. BrandSmart USA, favorite brands, lowest prices guaranteed.
Get to Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac for our 80th anniversary sale. 2026 optics, $329 a month at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Approved credit cards and transportation vehicles, sports stock TS 115239, less than 5K miles, 24 month lease, $39.99 down, 0 security plus tax tag title fees.
Get anniversary savings at Edmore Sawgrass Chevrolet during Chevy Truck Month. 26 Silverados, supplier pricing, and no payments for 90 days. Chevy, together let's drive.
Approved credit, interest accrues from date of purchase through preferred lender. Select models plus tax tag title fees. Dealer has details.
Marlins fan, get ready for more baseball action when the Fighting Fish face the Cincinnati Reds, April 6th through the 9th. Plus, enjoy Bark at the Park, sponsored by Tito's Homemade Vodka, 4 for $44. Presented by Pepsi. A ticket, food, and beverage deal for 4 and more. Get tickets now at marlins.com/tickets.
Well, the Marlins fall to the visiting Chicago White Sox 9-4, the final score on Monday in the series opener. Again, 2 more shots at the White Sox. It'll be Jansen Junk and Eric Fetty tomorrow night at 6:40. And then on Wednesday afternoon, little getaway day for the Marlins ahead of an off day in New York. It'll be Sandy Alcantara and Shane Smith. Before you hear from Clayton McCullough, quick check on the out-of-town scores. We have some finals from earlier tonight. Final score in Kansas City. The Royals beat the Twins 3-1. 5-2 Texas beats Baltimore in Baltimore at Camden Yards. Reds blanked the Pirates behind Chase Burns. Braxton Ashcraft was the starter and loser for the Pirates. 2-0 the final score. Burns, a heck of a season debut. Bottom of the 9th inning, Washington is up on Philly 13-2. This national offense is really vibing right now. Through 7, Toronto is chasing Colorado 9-1. So the Rockies in line for their first win of the year. Atlanta up on the A's 4-0 in the top of the 9th, and then they're stretching in Chicago 6-2. The Cubs on top of the Angels. Let's hear from the skipper, Clayton McCullough, after this one.
With Paddock, where did you start to see things start to unravel?
Yeah, he really got off to a really great start. And third inning, I think back, it was like, the 2-out bloop knock and then a swinging bunt. It's like, it was going pretty well. Hayes got a ball, he got elevated in the zone and, home run to right. And so, the third, the Hayes homer, it was, a bit of some tough luck. And then I think the next thing they strung a few hits together and probably, just pitched too much plate and kind of up some Vargas, like a changeup that he put a really good swing on. I think he came out and the changeup was working well. I think some sweepers that he threw early on were good, and some tough luck in the third. And then I think they just, kind of got a little momentum there, strung some hits together and got, a couple big swings with people on base that I think ended up, being the difference in that outing.
On the flip side, how about the job by your bullpen starting Blake Bonker?
Yeah, Lake was outstanding tonight for, get us 3 innings and, push it to, a point in the game that he was able to do. And then, John King, him and Mike coming back on back-to-back today, and we're both incredibly efficient and threw well. So really nice job by those 3 guys. And, we put us in a spot where in the 8th, got some traffic and had, maybe one swing away from things, getting really interesting there, and just, didn't come through, but I thought we, gave it a good fight and just, got into a hole early and couldn't dig ourselves out.
Going back to Paddock, only one start. Outside of Sandy, like the rest of the rotation, still relatively inexperienced and going deep into the season. How important will he be to this rotation starting staff, just over the course?
Yeah, I think it was, today, results aside, it just, I think we'll get a lot of better days out of Chris than today. I think really, you can't take him back. They got a couple of big hits with people on to cash in. But I think Chris is gonna, he's a pro. He'll flip the page. He'll just go right back to looking through this one with Mosk and company, and just kind of look where we can get things in line and ready to go for his next one. He'll be ready to go, and expect him to go out and throw a good game.
You talked pregame about Marcy, how the first 3 games, 4 really good swings, then finally gets a couple hits, just to see him maybe start to get something going. Seems a little strong.
Yeah, he did. He barreled up. He's barreled up a few balls that haven't fallen in today's, really nice to see him continue to square the ball up. The line out to second, the ball he hit really well to right. So, it's with Mars, it's a matter of time. I think he's really been seeing the ball very well, and, good to see him have, again, continue to have good at bats, but tonight, put those swings on and get rewarded with some knocks. And so, yeah, he'll get himself rolling. And I think have, a lot more nights like tonight where he's just, involved and, really rolling.
Like you said, even with the 8-run deficit, you guys the offense did start doing enough to give you guys a chance. Just seeing that again, even if there's fall your way this time.
Yeah, I think it was good. We hit a lot of balls hard tonight, and again, got the bases loaded in the 8th, and forced Hicks into the game there, and made a good pitch, ran one in on Connor. But look, we were again a knock there, some things happening for that thing becoming really interesting. So again, glad our guys just hung in there and keep taking good at bats and give yourself as many shots as you can for 9 innings. And if you come up short, you do, and we'll just reset it for tomorrow and try to come back and even the series.
Another Vargas over with the Dodgers? What kind of ball player?
Yeah, Miguel's always been a hitter. I think his dad is one of the greatest hitters ever out of Cuba, and that's one thing Miguel could always do is he really could hit, very accurate with the barrel. His swing stays in the zone a long time. He's been since I met him when he was 17. He's just he's always had a knack to hit, and he can move the ball around. And hate that he did that tonight against us, but Miguel, I've known him for a long time, and I'm happy that he's getting a real opportunity there in Chicago to go play every day. And that's one thing he's always been his calling card is his ability to hit and really use the whole field.
You mentioned the bet of Norby in the eighth. What did you make of that? Is that a situation where you like to maybe watch him have him take a strike first, or just what did you make of that?
I don't think so. I mean, you got to be ready to go, right there against Hicks, and I feel like going up there, pretty good matchup. Connor usually sinker splitter, from Hicks. It's big velocity, something moving down in the zone. Plays really well into Connor's strengths, and you just got one there that really took off, and maybe just had maybe a little bit more expected run than maybe he was thinking. And, he's throwing fast. So, no, I don't think it's time where, you sit there, maybe the best pitch of the plate appearance, goes by there with a chance to, really get us back in the game. So just a, good pitch by Hicks that, ran in on Connor. But, I think he's continued to, have some really solid at-bats here in the early going.
All right, that was the skipper, Clayton McCullough. After this one, again, a 9-4 loss for the Marlins at the hands of the Chicago White Sox. Can't win them all, but an opportunity to bounce back and still win a series against the White Sox. Chris Paddack made his Marlin big league debut, his season debut today. It was a debut that was hampered by two swings, right? The 3-run home run from Austin Hayes and the grand slam from Miguel Vargas. Let's hear from Chris after his start.
This one up after a good start and things just kind of not going your way there in the third.
Yeah, I mean, it was off to a really good start. But as you reflect on the outing, a couple snowball innings there, a couple crooked numbers there in the third and the fourth. Not how I envisioned my Marlins debut by any means. But, I've been here before. It's not an ideal situation to be in to start the year, especially coming off a really good spring, having some confidence going into the season. But I'm going to go back to my family tonight and, come to the field tomorrow with a good attitude, being a good teammate, and be back on the saddle. I mean, we have, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to have 31 more starts. And that's a long journey ahead. I wish it would have went a little different tonight. The loss is on me. I wish I, could have strapped up a little bit better there in the fourth. I think as you reflect on that, the third and the fourth, they just put together some really good swings with runners on base. They really did. A couple long balls there, that came across as 2-4 spots there in the third and the fourth.
When you reflect back, how much do you chalk it, parts of it up to just a little bad luck with little bloops and dribblers here and there?
In this game, I try not to think good luck versus bad luck because there's times where guys line out at 110 off the bat, and then there's times where the 65 broken bat dribbler swinging bunts end up getting guys on base. So it evens itself out throughout the year. Do we remember those weak hits more than the hard outs? Absolutely. It tends to snowball. But I think, the biggest thing, and I'm going to talk with, our staff, is I just let up a little bit of conviction there in some of my pitches. That's not like me, and it caused me to not execute when we needed to. I thought they put together some really good at-bats there late. After rolling through the second, third time through the lineup, I thought we executed our game plan early. Like I said, I came out of the gate swinging, and I thought that they were able to make some pretty good adjustments there that caused me to maybe not be as convicted with throwing my changeup. They started putting some really good swings on it, and I just can't let that happen. It's my best pitch. I got to go into that match with a dogfight mentality of hey, if you're going to beat me, it's going to be with my best pitch with conviction, not just placing it in the zone or overthinking or falling behind in counts. And you look at that third and fourth inning, that's exactly what happened.
Chris, you mentioned saddling up and how it's a long season. What have you learned over your career about when you have now like this, about being able to flush it, having a short-term memory? What have you learned about that in your career that can help you move on from today?
Yeah, I think, it's stuff that people don't see behind, underneath the dugout. As Sandy, he approached me right away and he said, "Hey man, you're here for a reason. We believe in you. I believe in you." And we had a conversation that I won't say on air, but he has my back. And it was cool to hear that from our ace, that he noticed some things that were a little different there in the third and fourth than there was in the first and second. So I noted that. I came into the clubhouse and I wrote that down in my journal from a guy that's been there at the top, at the elite level. So I think it's what I've learned through my career, man, is no one feels sorry for you at this level. It's expected. We it's what we signed up for, right? Does an 8 spot hurt? Do you get in a loss? Looking at the ERA jump, yes, absolutely. But if you let something like this affect the next 4 days, I'm pitching Sunday in New York. You think those guys feel sorry for me? No. So you got to get back on the saddle. You have to be able to approach that next start, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of your routine, to get all that negative out and be able to get back on that mound and be ready to go and compete at a high level. Because it's expected from the fans, and it's also expected from the 25 other guys in that clubhouse.
All right, that was Chris Paddock after his start, and really profound stuff from Chris. It's heavy stuff, but he'll be right back. And again, he mentioned he's starting on Sunday against the Yankees. We'll step aside. We will wrap up the 10th inning show when we come back here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Out here, if you're doing nothing, you're doing everything right. Though on a cruise with Norwegian, even if you're doing nothing, you're still basking in the warm sun, enjoying the peaceful ocean waves. You're breathing. Don't forget about breathing. Definitely need to be breathing. So you get to do nothing or everything, but you still need to be breathing. It's really important.
Experience the difference with cruises to Alaska, the Caribbean, and Europe. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line ships registry to the Bahamas and USA.
Upgrade your family vacation with an unforgettable escape to the Palm Beaches. From outdoor adventures and laid-back beaches to thrilling family attractions and animal encounters, the Palm Beaches have something for everyone. Discover premier resorts with creative kids clubs that will keep the little ones entertained while you enjoy world-class golf and spas. We are the original, the one, the only, the Palm Beaches. Plan your trip at thepalmbeaches.com.
Miccosukee Casino and Resort is your place in Miami to live it up and play on. Unleash the excitement of slots, high-stakes bingo, and 24/7 poker action. Indulge in exquisite dining at La Brisa and handcrafted cocktails at Tempt Lounge. Unwind in our elegant rooms and suites as you elevate your entertainment around the clock. And check out our new Little Trail Casino on I-75, exit 49. Rediscover Miccosukee Casino and Resort, voted best casino in Miami. Visit Miccosukee.com for more.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Participation may vary.
All right, tying a bow on the 10th inning show here. Marlins fall to the Chicago White Sox 9-4 today. Beauty of baseball. We're back at it tomorrow. 6:40 first pitch. Jansen Junk gets the ball for his season debut for the Marlins. He was one of the shining stars in that pitching staff for the Fish last year. Jansen Junk will oppose Eric Fetty, who we saw last year with the Cardinals, with the Braves. He's now back with the White Sox, the team he returned from Korea with. So again, 6:40 first pitch, 6 o'clock, Marlins on deck. Steven Strom gets us going live on X and YouTube. Huge thank you to Trevor Harris and Jimmy Garcia in studio at WQAM, right back on WQAM AM tomorrow. For Steven, for Jeff Nelson, I'm Jack McMullen saying so long from Lone Depot Park, and this has been a presentation of Miami Marlins baseball on the Marlins Radio Network.